Congratulations, baby.
Alright, what's goody? We're outside today. It's super windy though, and I feel like it's about to rain. But I'm still gonna try to do this wheelie tutorial today because I've been saying I was gonna do it, and I'm trying to get more consistent with my uploading on YouTube. So I'm gonna go to this spot down here. It's like a little strip that should be pretty dead. And go there, set up the camera, and try to teach you guys how to wheelie. For this tutorial, I'm gonna go really in depth because when I was coming up and learning how to wheelie, I had almost every problem that you could have. Like literally from the littlest things, I overthought everything. But I got it down, I got combos down and all that. So I'm gonna teach you guys what I learned and some tips to help you come up faster. So yeah, stay tuned. And this view is awesome. We're gonna set this up and I'm gonna teach you guys how to be smooth, how to wheelie like a goat. Actually hear me? But today I'm gonna teach you guys how to wheelie. And it's super simple. I actually got I made some notes in my phone because I don't want to be all over the place. I want to give you guys like directions and step by step. So I broke it down to 6 steps, and it's gonna be a little bit of detail to each step, obviously, but yeah, I'll break it down to 6 steps. The first step I broke it down to was your bike setup. And what I mean by that is before you even start to wheelie, make sure you have like a decent bike, you know what I mean? It could be a Hoagie, it could be a mountain bike from Walmart, whatever, but make sure you have brakes, like some type of brakes that can actually stop your wheel. If I hop on anybody's bike, the first thing I do is test their brakes. No matter how nice it looks, any of that, I'll test their brakes to make sure, because that's what's gonna help you keep your wheel up, do combos and everything. And it's like, there's some people that wheelie without brakes for a little bit, but the longest you're gonna go without brakes is maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds or something like that. Unless, you know, there's some people who are gonna comment different, but you know what I mean. If you wanna really keep it up and get blocks, you need brakes. You have to have brakes. Really, obviously, just make sure the bike is running, that it pedals, the tires are filled up, and that's pretty much it. But brakes is the #1 thing. I wanna emphasize that like crazy. You need brakes. Wait for this car. Alright, the second step that I broke it down to was your bike control. So simple bike control. All this, like, it's super simple bike control, but if you're a new rider, this is stuff that's it might be a little bit difficult. So riding in circles is one, riding with no hands is another, and just maybe swerving on 2 wheels, you know what I mean? Cutting up, moving around, but I'm gonna show you right now. Sorry, there's a bunch of cars, but look. Simple circles, small circles like this. Small circles, even circles with 1 hand. No hands. Yeah, so that stuff like that, the simple stuff, that's gonna help you get your bike control down, and it's all gonna add up, trust me. It's all gonna add up and help you in the end. When you really start to try and wheelie, it's gonna make it a lot easier. All right, so step 3, I put your first pedal. I'm gonna show you how to get your first pedal down and get enough power to bring that bike actually up, no matter how heavy it is. Almost any bike can be wheelied, so if somebody tells you it's too heavy, they're lying. So I'm gonna show you right now what that first pedal should look like and how you go about it. For your first pedal, you're gonna probably want to start, if you're a right leg, you probably want to start with your left leg, and it sounds weird, but I'll show you in a sec. And if you're left leg, you might want to start with your right leg. So when you're set and you're ready to go, you're probably gonna go like this. To get enough power in your right leg to actually push up, even to this day, I start with my left, I take 1 pedal, and then that next pedal with my right is when I pull up. It's not really like you just start here and pull up with your right leg. You see what I'm saying? And then if you're left leg, I would imagine it's the same thing. You want to get 1 pedal down with your right and then pull up hard with your left leg. Because a lot of videos will make it seem like you just go with straight from your right leg and pull right up. To do that is going to take a lot of like I was saying, the wind was just kicking, and it still is, but to do that is gonna take a lot of leg strength. So like I said, use that tip where you start with your other leg, get one pedal in, and then try to pull up. And then let me show you what it's gonna look like, what you wanna do, because you don't wanna, let me just show you, let me show you. So when you pull up, and all right, so you start with your left, right, you get that first pedal, and then you're at your right leg. Your first pull up, if you've never done a wheelie before, your first pull up, you're gonna wanna just yank the bike up and step off the back. So you're gonna yank the bike up and step off the back just so you can see what the bike feels like when it comes up and over the balance point. And always keep your fingers on the brakes. Like I said, brakes I wanna emphasize like crazy, because that's like the #1 thing to wheeling. I'm gonna show you what it looks like when you just pull up and then just jump off the back or step off. It's real simple, you don't gotta make it look crazy. So like I said, then take your first pedal with your opposite leg and then pull up and step off. Damn, I don't even know if you can see it. There's literally gonna be like 15 minutes between now and the last clip, bro. There's too many cars in the wind, this is ridiculous. We're going somewhere else, so I'm going somewhere else. So I might just keep it on the head mount and maybe show you like this, because you can see my legs and everything too. So what you want to do is take that first step with your opposite leg and then pull up and jump right off. Like, don't try to stay on the bike or nothing, just pull up and jump right off. Opposite leg. So yeah, that's how you're gonna get your first pedal. That's how you're gonna get the feeling of the bike even coming up in the first place, is doing that. So I'm gonna move on to the next step. I had to move, I already told you anyways. The next step is getting used to the bike coming up, which I kind of talked about with step 3, but it's a little bit more to it that I'll get into. Getting the bike up and getting used to it being up. So when you do what I was telling you with you start with your opposite leg and then you pull up strong with your right leg and you just jump off the back and you get used to that. You do that like 2 or 3 times just to see what the bike feels like coming up like that. The next step after that is you're gonna want to start tapping your brake. So when you start with your left leg and then you go and pull up with your right leg nice and strong and the bike comes up, now what you want to do is have your hand on the brake, and pretty much as soon as you get the bike up, just squeeze the brakes so that it comes back down. If you don't know, that's what the brakes are gonna do for you. The moment you come up and go too far back, it's gonna bring your bike, it's gonna slam it back down. So that's what you wanna do. You wanna go ahead and pull up, and I'm gonna put the GoPro on the head mount so I can try and show you actually. Right, so like I said, you start with your left leg, right? You're riding, you already did stepping off, like left leg, right leg, stepped off a few times. Now what you want to do is do the same thing, left leg, right leg, but squeeze your brakes and your bike is gonna slam down. Oh, one thing I should have said earlier, I would recommend, you can use one finger if you have hydraulic brakes, but even with hydraulic brakes, I would recommend 2 fingers always. I always use 2 fingers for combos, for everything. Like I was saying, no matter how much weight, like if you're, you know, fat, skinny, or you just swing back a lot, put a lot of weight backwards, the brakes, if you squeeze them hard enough, it's still gonna slam you down. I promise you. You don't, and that's what you're trying to get comfortable with, is getting familiar with the brakes being strong enough and reliable, you know, enough for you to actually use them, to rely on them for you to keep the wheel up. So that's what you're gonna do. Keep doing that. Pull up, squeeze the brakes every time. Like at first it's not gonna look exactly like how I'm doing it. I'm so comfortable with it that I can explain to you what I'm doing and do it like perfectly. To you it might be like, it might be something like that where you just pull up and it comes right down. But keep practicing, you know what I mean? Just literally keep doing it. The more and more every day that you do it is gonna be easier. Is literally gonna get easier and easier. There's muscles in your body and muscle fibers that are adapting to it and gaining muscle memory. So don't feel like you're not getting better. If you go out every day and you practice, trust me, your body is gonna automatically snap into it and you're gonna get it one day. So just keep trying until you end up getting the bike up a little bit and then being able to squeeze the brakes and go back down. Step 5, I kind of did go over, see, I'm kind of going over certain steps in together, but right. So like I'm saying, when you pull the bike up, let's say when you finally are able to do, and this is not, you might still feel like, you know, obviously you're still not going to be wheeling, but what you can be able to do is something like this, at least something like that, or even like that. Even if it is like that, just coming up a tiny bit and coming down, that's still good. It still means that you have enough power to pull the wheel up, and you have your fingers over the brakes, which is 2 super important things. And the next thing you want to learn is brake control. So to really get brake control, what you want to do is you're gonna pull up and do the same thing, but try to have your bike come back more. Pretty much what you want to get used to is just having the bike come back more and then pressing the brakes, so that you can figure out where the balance point is. Because at first it's just gonna be tension pulling up, and then it's just gonna come loose and go all the way back. You're not really gonna feel the balance point. So with the brakes and the steps that I'm telling you, is the whole point of this, I think it's the 4th or 5th step, is to find that balance point. So when you pull up like this, you want to try and squeeze it at the perfect spot, and you'll feel it. Like, you might even sit there for a quick second, you know what I mean, just floating without even touching the brakes, and you'll know that's the balance point. Once you get to that point, you're gonna literally, like I was saying, you're just gonna keep doing it every day, over and over. But don't overtrain, because you can train in too much to a point where you're starting to regress and not make progress. You're starting to lose progress. And so what you want to do is make sure that you're training like a decent amount of time for a day. Maybe an hour or 2 should be good, or it kind of depends on how hard you're going. But just don't go too hard, and if you feel yourself getting worse and worse throughout the day, just call it a day and rest for the day. There's been too many times where I feel like absolutely giving up. I'm pissed at the bike, at myself, at everything pretty much. And but keep going, trust me, like, you will get it. It is possible. Like, everything you see people do is possible. It takes a lot of dedication. And some people, at least for me, some people, kids nowadays, are learning this stuff so fast. Anyways, either way, if you're like me or you're like somebody who learns quickly, you still get it. For me, I had every problem in the book with every trick and ended up still learning it. So you definitely can do it. The 6th and final step is I put here: train, practice, and have fun, which is something that it took me a while to learn. I'm not gonna lie, because even when I first learned how to wheelie, I was coming out and grinding. Like, I was so dedicated and committed to getting the wheelie. Like, I wanted to get it so bad, and I was grinding and to the point where it almost like wasn't fun, you know what I mean? Like, it was almost a workout. So that's not what you want to do. You really want to have fun. If you got friends, ride with them, or just if you're going to the store, try tricks for fun, you know what I mean? Don't be so hard on yourself, killing yourself while you're doing this stuff. Have fun, and the tricks will come so much faster and cleaner. Just stay calm, you know what I mean? Always breathe. Like, it sounds stupid, but literally breathe, stretch before you ride, and you should be good. Follow these steps, you know what I mean? You can come back, watch the video over and over. That's what I always did when I was learning how to wheelie. Came back and watched videos like 50 times. And make sure you practice consistently, you know what I mean? Don't come out one day and then come out 2 or 3 days later and expect to be making progress, because I've done that a bunch of times. I'll be trying a trick and I'll make some progress and come out 3 days later or something and try it again and get angry that I'm not making progress. You gotta, like, I don't want to say every single day, because people have, you know, are doing stuff and all that, but at least, you know, every other day. Make sure you're coming out, you're trying basic tricks. It don't gotta be nothing crazy. Like, just staying sharp, and you're gonna continuously progress and progress and progress and get better. Oh, some problems. Let me go over a couple problems that people have. So something, like I was saying, when it comes to evening your pedal pressure with your left and right leg, it really just mentally, like, you know what I mean? Just start thinking about it, focusing on, all right, I'm gonna put more pressure on my left leg, and the more you do that, the more automatic it's gonna be. Trust me. Like, And the same with your left and right arm. If you're pulling too much with your right arm, then start focusing on, all right, I'm gonna pull a little bit more with my left arm this time. And fixing the problems, you know what I mean? Identify the problems you're having and fix them, and it's gonna be a lot easier. Also, if you can, have somebody record you or set up your own phone and record yourself so you can see what it looks like when you're actually doing it. Because sometimes what you're doing on a bike feels a lot different than what it actually looks like. So getting that perspective might help you a little bit. But the reason for this tutorial is I had 2 kids message me, or I actually had 1 kid message me, and he wanted me to help him learn how to wheelie a little bit further. Like, he could get the wheel up, but he wanted to take it further. And I gave him some tips. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I told him. And then he sent me, his 2 friends sent me a video of them too, which was awesome. And I'm gonna actually give them some tips right here on the video, and I'll cut this in there somewhere in the video. I don't have the first part of the message, but he asked me for tips and stuff, and I gave him some tips. And then he ended up coming back to me saying that the tips worked, and he ended up wheeling his whole block. And what his problem was he was doing the wheelie, but he would get into the wheelie and then he would lean to one side and the wheel would drop. So the tips I gave him for that was to literally like start using your knees. You know what I mean? When you wheelie and when you pull it up, instead of being like this, with your legs closed, and whatever, it sounds weird and stuff, but open your knees, you know what I mean? And every pedal, just make sure your legs are going to each side, evening out the your balance, and use your body, you know what I mean? Move left and right, so you can even out the balance. And also another thing that he was doing is, if you have a mountain bike with gears, he was in a really light gear. So if you're in a light gear, this is gonna make it way harder for you to wheelie. You wanna be, I wanna say, I'm not 100% sure which gear I'm in right now. I wanna say 7th or something like that. You guys can probably, you know, tell and do the same. This is a 1x10, I'm pretty sure. And so don't wanna be in too heavy of a gear, and you don't wanna be in too light of a gear. Be in somewhere that feels nice, where you have some tension to keep, to build momentum, but you're not, you know, pushing too hard, and where you're not too light with it. And don't be afraid of how you look, because it's gonna get easier over time and more smooth. So just when you're starting off, do what you have to. Use your body to keep your balance. Which I'm gonna put the clips of his friends in right now and actually show you what I'm looking at so you guys can see. One thing so one thing I noticed off like automatically is he doesn't have his finger on the brake, which like I said in the beginning, is one thing that's like you have to have. You want to have brakes, and make sure your fingers are covering the brakes, whether it's 1 or 2 fingers. Make sure you're always covering the brake. Second, I would say go back to I think it was my first or second step, and instead of like, if you've never gotten the bike up, if you've never had the feeling of the bike coming up and going over balance point, then do what I said at first, you know what I mean? If you're a right leg, it seems like he's comfortable with his leg and putting the pressure down to get it up, like lift it off the ground. But what you want to do so you're comfortable with the bike coming all the way up is do what I said. You pull it up, step right off the back, like jump off the back. I almost fell doing that. So yeah, like I said, left leg, then your right leg, pull all the way up and step off of the bike, so that you know what it feels like when it comes up, you know what I mean? And you have that power in your legs to bring the bike all the way to this point. Yeah, so for that clip, that's my tip right. That's a tip that I would give him. He looks like he's pretty comfortable riding and stuff, like he's got decent bike control. So yeah, try doing that first. And I'm sorry this is super late too, for if you guys are watching this, I apologize for this being late. I'm trying to get more consistent with my stuff, and it's gonna come over time, you know what I mean? But yeah, try that, man. Put your seat down a little bit, and that way so you can step off the back and get used to that. Just get used to your bike coming up off the back, and once you do that and you know what that feels like, you're not scared of it, then try and squeeze your brake. Do that, well, pull it up a little bit, like do it like halfway, like you're gonna actually bring it all the way up, and then squeeze the brake. But you don't want to like step off, like I was saying. When you start to really learn when you want to commit to the wheelie and keep it up, don't rely on stepping off the back, because you can hurt yourself bad kind of doing that. And then for his other friend, I'm going to play the clip of his other friend right now. The first one was Josh. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Peyton, which is the one that sent me the message in the first place. And then this is Chase. So shout out to you guys, man. Oh, his friend got it. Oh, okay. Yeah, he got it, literally. So if you're, all right, so if you're in Chase's position, you're literally pretty much golden. Like, your seat is at perfect. You can get the wheel all the way up. Your fingers over the brake. Bro, you're golden. Just keep trying at that. And that's one thing that I was talking about. I was trying to emphasize during when I was saying it, is if you're at a point like that, like if you're doing something like that, but you just keep dropping every few seconds, keep trying. You have to stay consistent with it. I'm telling you, it sounds crazy. One day your body is gonna snap into it, and like, it's gonna be more comfortable. The brake work, you're gonna start being able to use the brake more and more, and it's just gonna get more comfortable. You're gonna be like, it's surprising how things really work. But just think about it like your muscles need to adapt to what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's a lot that you're doing, trying to balance on one wheel. So just let your body adapt to it. Don't give up. Don't frustrate yourself, and have fun. Those are like some of the biggest tips I can give you, is don't frustrate yourself and have fun. Because me frustrating myself and getting angry and stuff, you know, I mean, that'd be the worst experiences while I'm riding. When you're just chilling, even if you're not landing stuff, it's like when you come home at the end of the day, you still feel like you had a good day. So that's a huge tip. Have fun, man, and just relax, stay calm while you're riding. So for Chase, he pretty much got it. That was awesome. He was doing this, already coming up and then dropping. If you're at that point, just literally keep going, bro. I'm telling you, you're just gonna, one day you're gonna pull up, and instead of just dropping like this, you're gonna pull up and it's gonna sit there, and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm telling you, you're gonna be amazed. It's gonna be awesome. And then for the other kid, sorry, I forgot your name, but the one that doesn't, you can get it up like a tiny bit like this, but it comes back down. For you, like I was saying, take your like I was saying before, left leg, right leg, and step off, so you can get what it feels like to be up here in this position right here. Once you know you're not scared once you're not scared, you get over the fear and anxiety of having the bike in that position. That's when you're gonna start trying to have you know, pull your brake into it, the hand over the brake, and always have your finger covering the brake too, like your friend was doing. Yeah, 1 or 2 fingers, whichever. I like to use 2, but always have your finger over the brake, and then do the same thing, pull up, but instead of trying to jump off the back, try to squeeze your brakes, like squeeze it. You want the bike to slam down, and keep doing that until you can get it up to where your friend is, like right here, boom, and then squeeze down. At that point, it's the muscles in your fingers that need to just adapt to how hard you need to press the brake to keep it right where it is. So you're gonna keep getting it right to this point, and keep trying different pressures. Try a little bit lighter each time, a little bit lighter, until you get it where it just sits. A little bit lighter till it just sits right there. This is the end of this video. I think I gave a lot of tips. I'm gonna cut it, put a whole bunch of cuts around, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you got some understanding of what's going on, and yeah, stay tuned for my next video. It's gonna be in Philly, my birthday ride out in Philly. Oh, I can't wait for that day. It's gonna be lit. Yeah, stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like, comment. Let me know if you have any more problems. I'll try to answer them in the comments. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.